Now, as much as I love turkey, I'm really all about the side dishes when it comes to Thanksgiving. So today I'm going to share 3 veggie-based Thanksgiving side dishes that I find myself coming back to year after year. I'm going to make my green bean almondine, which is a lighter, fresher alternative to a traditional green bean casserole. I'll also make a kale and pomegranate salad, which is beautiful and festive. And then finally, roasted garlic and olive oil mashed potatoes. So delicious, so much yumminess, I cannot wait to share. But first, I want to thank our amazing sponsor, LMNT. LMNT is a delicious electrolyte company who was specifically designed for people who enjoy living a healthy lifestyle and prefer to take a less processed, more whole food approach to healthy eating. So people like myself. It contains a science-based balance of sodium, magnesium, and potassium that can help you to balance out the electrolytes in your body. And I'm gonna share more on them in just a bit. But for now, we're gonna make green beans almondine. So I start with 1.5 pounds of green beans, and I'm just gonna rinse them under some cold water. And then I'll trim off the stem side of the green beans because they can be rather tough and they're really not edible. Now, you can do this one by one, or you can line up a handful of green beans and just do them all at the same time. And if you really need to save time, remember that most grocery stores do sell green beans pre-trimmed, so that's a great option when you need convenience. Once they're trimmed, I'm just gonna quickly blanch them. So I've got a pot of salted water coming up to a boil on the stove, and I'm just gonna add the green beans to the boiling water and set my timer for 3 minutes. You don't want to overcook them. We're really just looking to get the raw edge off of them. So once they've turned a beautiful, bright, vibrant green and they still have a good sense of integrity to them, they are ready to go. So I'm just gonna drain them off and then I run them under some super cold water. This is gonna help to cool them down, and it's also going to halt the cooking process, which is exactly what we want to do. Now, you could do this step the day before and then put them in an airtight container and pull them out on Thanksgiving Day when you're ready to make the almondine. The almondine comes together very quickly. So I've got a 12-inch skillet. I'm gonna heat that over a medium heat with a couple tablespoons of olive oil. Once the olive oil is hot, I'm adding in 1/2 cup of sliced almonds. You can buy them right at the grocery store like this. I'll gently toss those in the oil, and I'm just looking to let them toast in the pan for a couple of minutes. 2 to 3 minutes is perfect. Then I'm gonna add in 1 minced shallot. This could also be about 1/4 cup of diced onion. Shallot is just a bit more mild than an onion, but at the end of the day, they would both get the job done. Okay, then I've got 2 cloves of minced garlic and a fat pinch of sea salt. I'm gonna toss that all together, let it cook for about 5 minutes, but you do wanna stay with it and you wanna stir it periodically because you don't want the garlic or the onions to burn. If the pan seems like it's getting too hot, you could always turn it down and add a splash of water just to cool it off. As it cooks, you're gonna notice that the almonds begin to turn a nice light golden brown while the onions and the garlic become super fragrant and translucent. That's how you know it's time to toss in the blanched green beans. So those go into the pot, and then I like to use a pair of tongs just to toss everything together. You want it to be really well incorporated, and then once they are, I just let it cook for another 5 minutes or so until the green beans are heated through. This is a very quick cooking dish, especially if you blanch the green beans ahead of time. I like to finish it off with a little more sea salt, some black pepper, and then some fresh grated lemon zest right over the top. It's so simple, it's so bright, it's so delicious, and it is perfect for your Thanksgiving table. Next up is this fun and festive, beautiful kale and pomegranate salad. This salad is layered with gorgeous seasonal ingredients that pair perfectly with all of the flavors on your Thanksgiving table. But first, I want to share more about today's sponsor. LMNT is an electrolyte drink mix that can help to prevent headaches, muscle cramps, fatigue, and sleeplessness, which many people don't realize can all be signs of electrolyte deficiencies. And I'm super excited because they just released their limited time chocolate medley. Each box has 10 packets of chocolate mint, 10 packets of chocolate chai, and 10 packets of chocolate raspberry. And each of these flavors are designed to be enjoyed hot. So you could just make them like a hot chocolate, or you could add them to your coffee to make a homemade mocha, or you could add them to any type of cozy warm drink that you love to create.
That is so good.
I love that they contain no artificial flavors, no artificial coloring, no sugars, no gluten, and no fillers. And they're currently offering everybody in the Clean and Delicious community 8 single serving packets for free with any purchase. So you'll get to try the watermelon, raspberry, mango chili, grapefruit, citrus, unflavored, and the chocolate. All you have to do is visit www.drinkelement.com/Danny Spees, and then you can try all those flavors and decide which is your favorite. Now remember, you can only get that with my link, which I'm gonna leave for you down in the description box below, but it's www.drinkelement.com/DANISPIES. And keep in mind that Element offers a no questions asked refund on all orders. So if you are curious to try them, you really have nothing to lose. Okay, so when I'm making my kale salad, I really like to use dinosaur kale. That's the kale that has this bumpy dinosaur-like texture, but it also would work with curly kale. So as always, use what you have, use what you love. And the first thing we need to do is remove the stem from the kale. I have found the easiest way to do this is to hold the bottom of the stem in one hand, and then with the other hand, you're just gonna pull the leaf up and away in the opposite direction. It comes off so easily. Then I like to stack a handful of leaves on top of each other, and I roll it up into a really tight, fat cigar. And then I just come across and slice super thin ribbons. I love cutting my kale like this when I'm making a salad or even when I'm making sauteed kale. I'll transfer these kale ribbons into the colander of my salad spinner, give it a rinse under some cold water, get it nice and clean, and then I'm just gonna spin, spin, spin to pull the excess moisture away. Remember, whenever you're making a salad, you really want the greens to be nice and dry because oil and water do not mix. So if the greens are wet, the salad dressing is not gonna adhere to the greens. Okay, so next I'm gonna make my salad dressing, and I'm gonna start with a 1/4 cup of finely diced red onion. This is gonna be the base of the dressing, which I'm gonna get into a spouted glass cup. I really like to make my dressing in this cup. You could also do a mason jar, would be a great option. Now the reason I like to add the onion to the base of the dressing is because the acidity of the dressing is gonna help to break the onion down. So it helps to round out the flavors and it creates a great texture in the salad. Next, I'm gonna add in a clove of crushed garlic, 1 tablespoon of honey, a 1/4 cup each of extra virgin olive oil, and apple cider vinegar. And then I'm just gonna season that with some sea salt and some black pepper. Gently whisk this all together, and then I'll drizzle the dressing right over the prepared kale ribbons, and then gently toss this all together. You could do this with your hands, or you could do it with a pair of tongs. You just want the kale to have a nice light coating of the dressing. So I'm gonna get the dressed kale into a serving bowl, and then we're gonna add the toppings. Now the first ingredient we need are some pomegranate seeds. And I have discovered over trial and error that the easiest way to remove the seeds from the pomegranate is to do just this. You're gonna score the pomegranate in half across the center and then gently pull it apart. Then I just like to loosen up the sides a bit, just crack them open, just like this. And then over a large bowl, I'm gonna hold the pomegranate seed side down in the palm of my hand, and then I'll use a wooden spoon to gently but firmly tap the top of the pomegranate. And what you're gonna see are that the seeds are gonna just pop right out. And keep in mind, if you don't want to do this step yourself, most grocery stores these days do sell the pomegranate seeds already seeded, so that's always an option as well. And if pomegranates are just not an option for you, if you can't get your hands on them, dried cranberries, while not exactly the same, also work really well in this salad. Okay, so we'll add the pomegranates to the top of the salad along with a 1/2 cup of chopped roasted pecans, and then a 1/4 cup of sunflower seeds that are also roasted. And then I have a couple ounces of fresh feta cheese that I'm gonna crumble right over the top. Now you could serve it just like this so people can see everything that's going into the salad, but I like to just gently toss it all together. And you're gonna see that you're gonna have the most beautiful festive salad that not only has great flavor, but it also has great texture. So it's really like a little party in your mouth. Okay, so the third and final vegetable side dish that I wanna share today are my garlic roasted olive oil mashed potatoes. This is a really rustic spin on a mashed potato, and it's also a great option for somebody that might be dairy free but still wants to enjoy a traditional Thanksgiving side dish without sacrificing any flavor. So the first thing we need when we're making roasted garlic mashed potatoes is the roasted garlic. So I start by just removing the loose papery skin on the outer layer of the garlic bulb. And then I'm gonna lay it down sideways and slice about 1/4 to 1/2 inch off of the top. You want to go far enough down that all of the tops of the garlic cloves are exposed once you slice the top off. And personally, I find using a seared knife is the best way to get the job done. Then I'm going to place the garlic bulb in the center of a piece of foil and drizzle the top with a little bit of olive oil and season it with a little bit of sea salt and some black pepper. Pull up the sides of the foil and just kind of squeeze it together. It's going to look like a little stem. Ultimately, you just want to make sure that it's airtight. Now, you only need 1 bulb of garlic for this recipe, but I'll often throw a couple extra in there as well, just to have on hand throughout the week. It's really delicious spread over some toast. You could add it to salad dressings, or you could just add it to any type of chicken dish or fish dish or pasta dish that would pair well with garlic. So I'll pop this in a 400-degree oven, let it cook anywhere between 30 to 40 minutes. It's really just going to depend on the size of your garlic bulb. And you're going to know that it's done because it's going to become very fragrant and the texture of the garlic cloves are going to be almost buttery, right? You're going to see that they will literally slip right out of the skin. You can either pull them out with a fork or just gently squish it with your fingers and they slip right out. Now for the potatoes, I'm using Yukon Gold potatoes. They're a little bit starchier and they make a really creamy, fluffy mashed potato. A russet potato would also be a great option. So I start by giving them a rinse under some cold water. And then if you want your potatoes to be really creamy, you can of course peel the potatoes. But because I'm going for a more rustic mashed potato, I like to leave the skins on the potato. So I'm just gonna cut them into chunky bite-sized pieces. You wanna do your best for them to be relatively similar in size. This way they're gonna cook evenly, but you don't have to be perfect. Transfer them into a medium-sized pot, and I'm just gonna cover them with enough water so that the water is about 1 inch above the potatoes. I'll turn my heat up to high, bring everything up to a boil, and just let them boil for about 5 to 10 minutes or until they are fork tender. You can test them just by slipping a fork or a knife right into the potato. You will see that it will easily slide in and slide out of the potato. That means your potatoes are ready to roll. So I'm just gonna drain the potatoes, get rid of all of the water, and then put the potatoes back into the warm pot along with the roasted garlic cloves and a 1/2 cup of extra virgin olive oil. Now, you really want to use the best olive oil you can here because she's playing a big role in this recipe. So look for something that is regional, extra virgin, and cold pressed. Season with a little bit of sea salt and some black pepper, and then I'm gonna mash them with a potato masher. Now again, I like these kind of hearty and rustic, but if you prefer them smoother, you're just gonna mash a little more than I am. Now, if you find that they need a little more moisture once they're broken down, you could add a couple more tablespoons of olive oil, but if you wanna keep things a little bit lighter, you could also add a few splashes of broth. This could be a chicken broth or a veggie broth, but both of those options would work. These smell so good. I'm going to transfer the potatoes into my serving dish, and then I do like to top them with an extra drizzle of extra virgin olive oil right over the top, a sprinkle of flaky sea salt, and then either some chopped chives or some chopped scallions for color and a little extra flavor. So there you have it. I can barely believe that we are now rolling into Thanksgiving season, but we are, and now you have 3 delicious, nutritious, vegetable-based Thanksgiving side dishes to choose from. So are you gonna make 1? Are you gonna make 2? Are you gonna make them all? That's the decision you're gonna need to make, and be sure to come down to the comment section below and let me know what you decide. Thanks again to LMNT for sponsoring this video. If you'd like to sample any of their delicious flavors, be sure to check the link below and receive your 8 single serving variety pack for free with any purchase. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Danny Spies, and I'll see you back here next time with some more clean and deliciousness. Cheers!